This is World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber. World Awakenings is a podcast dedicated to opening your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how they play an all-important role in our daily life. So join Carl on this enlightening experience as he interviews metaphysical and spiritual experts to discuss, debate, and delve deeply into the hows and whys of this worldwide awakening.
Ready.
Are you destined for global impact and financial sovereignty by becoming a certified life coach? Well, Renee Marcou's iHeart Academy, accelerated life coaching certification program, and business training will help you get there. This is a 6-month immersion program where you'll learn signature strategies to create a life you're in love with. Plus, you'll learn unique holistic coaching methods so you can get your clients' results fast. It's time for you to break free from corporate servitude and stop trading your precious time for money. At the iHeart Academy Life Coaching Program, you'll trailblaze with the top purpose-driven coaches in the Coaches Lounge and quantum leap past any limitations that are currently holding you back. By the end of this program, you'll not only have deeper knowledge to create a booming life coaching business, but you'll be able to take your coaching expertise to a whole new level. Take the first step towards becoming a confident, embodied, impactful life coach with this fun, interactive program, Renee Marcou's iHeart Academy Life Coaching Certification Program. Click on the link below now. Hey everyone, there's a rock song called Train Kept A-Rollin', and that's exactly what this podcast is like. A train that just keeps on rolling. And like that train, this show is gaining a whole lot of momentum. And as we continue our search to find the answer to the question, why now more than ever are the people of the world awakening to all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening? And with our special guest here on this show today, I do believe we're going to find out the truthful answer to this all-important question. Now, before we roll this train out of the station, I'd love to have you right now click that subscribe button below to help keep this show rolling successfully along so that you never ever miss a single episode of this show. Now, to say we have perhaps one of the most amazing guests with us today that this show will ever have is a true understatement. Now, today we have the honor of speaking with Athella, a master teacher from Sirius B, a binary star system which is 8.6 light years from Earth. Now, since 2015, Athella has been channeled here on Earth through a young woman named Christina Hill. Christina has the most amazing personal journey of going through from homelessness and drug addiction to standing on stage at Carnegie Hall, channeling Athella and becoming a renowned celebrity coach. So welcome, Athella and Christina. Yeah.
Welcome, beloved souls. And I'll greet you in Athella's way for the Blu-ray Nation. Nabu Aliyah to all of you.
Wow, this is awesome, Christina. I'm so honored to have you and Athella on. And just to let the viewers and listeners know, I'm sure they're familiar because I had you and Christy Whitman, who channels why am I blanking?
The Council of Light.
Yeah, the Council together. And that was a fun show. But we're going solo with Athella today. And, Christina, I know you're always anxious to bring Athella's wisdom and love flowing through. But if you don't mind, could you please give our viewers and some listeners some insight into your amazing personal journey from homelessness and drug addiction to the earthling voice for Athella?
Wow, right? Yeah. Sometimes when I hear that, I can scarcely believe it myself. I really don't think about the past. I really don't go there. It's just for reference. So when we're going into the story, it's important to have a preface for this is to say we're always stationed in the here and now. It's like an embodiment of here and now. Yes. And then we make a reference to, or we open the library up about a past movement or a past energy. But whenever we do that, then we percolate the past. So after I say this, these words I'm about to speak, then I clear that field, like vacuuming after you've left some dust on the floor. And so then it zips up the energy nice. We don't stay in the past. We don't live there. It's just a point of reference. And I think that's a great teaching point. Not that I consider myself a teacher. I believe Athella is a teacher, but I just believe it's important to say before we go to a bio, this is the story. Yet here I am, and here you are, and here everyone is resonating in the I am consciousness.
I really love what you just said. You don't want to dwell in the past. I think the best wisdom that spirit has ever told me, and you and I were discussing before this, how we both are runners. Sometimes you fall down when you're running. You trip on something, go down, and this always comes to my mind. Spirit says, Carl, get up, brush the dirt off, keep moving forward, and don't look back. And I just love it. It's the best advice I ever had. So, oh my God.
Energy, yeah, totally. And there's a vibration to that, right? There's a quality that's beyond the bobbly head that we can often live in. That's very present when we're really, really living the cells of the here and now. And we've decided to be very present as a predominant or dominant state. Then those cells just take up our whole residence here in the body and in our physical environment and everything else. So the story, though, interesting, thank you for pointing towards the story, is really about ascension. So I had just been in the pits, and had what some might call a dark night of the soul, but I had spent a lot of years living in boxes. And even before that, in trauma and in early childhood, having been abandoned and left at shopping malls and really raised by people who shouldn't be around children. So coupled with that into early adult life, then really just aimlessly wandering and moving from one trauma to the next in that trauma cycle, which often we see with trauma. It's a cycle. The violence, the trauma, all of this to say, well, my outlet I found was with drugs and with drug addiction. Prostitution was another. I had gone into self-harm, wanting to leave the planet and all of this, and just living with inner demons, which I think a lot of people can identify with. The inability to stop thinking, the absolute drowning in my own thoughts, drowning in my own trauma, and the body memorizing all this. So the cycle of trauma for me was just seeking out more trauma. Then, as you mentioned, in 2015, I had started to feel something prior to 2015 in my throat, something that was pulling, or some kind of entity inside of my throat. I knew there was something there. Someone had said to me, close to me, had said, maybe there's something you need to say. And I remember that definitively taking me on a different path to where I was in a past life regression session. I wanted to explore more about what this was. And I lay down on a couch. And from there, I did have a profound event, an event whereby I was suctioned into a vacuous vortex of light. I really can't call it anything other than that. A really beautiful experience where Athella came full on in and asked me to say her name. So prior to all this, so I didn't even know what channeling was. I had no idea. I had had many experiences with the light and with less than light as a child, and learned how to skirt all that under the rug because it was not accepted. It wasn't acceptable the way that I was. I was even told when I was a kid that aliens brought me down from the ships, and I believed it. And now I realize it was really true. So,
yes, but in a good way.
In a good way. That's right. In a good way, Well, that's the story. And from that, we can find that we can leapfrog out of our story. We can extract out of it and be reborn. And that's exactly what happens. So out of the fiery pit, out of the ash comes the fire phoenix. And that is the transformation I've been undergoing with Athella. And about a little over a human year ago, I went through a trans configuration and became the first human being to be a Sirian. So now I don't see myself as a human being anymore. I've now joined the fleet of blue ray light beings, and I'm now an ambassador holding the emblem of Sirius B, connecting it with my body, of course, and being an instrument for those from Sirius B, which now is a satellite. The satellite now is made contact with different areas on planet Earth. It moves around a lot and likes to hang out over Honolulu, Hawaii. It comes to the Yucatan pretty often and other cities therein, where people are finding they're seeing these blueies or blue orbs, or the brightest star in the sky. Athella is a being, a leader of Sirius B that wishes to stay on the planet and connect with those who wish to receive healing, who really do want to use Sirian light codes, bring them into their DNA, reconfigure, and live just an awesome existence the way that they want it.
Wow, this is just phenomenal. Well, I'm really anxious to bring Athella in. So if you're willing and Athella's ready, here we are.
Sure. Right. Yes. And really we invoke a sense of peace if we all just want to close our eyes and we can feel the difference between Christina personality and a being of light from Sirius B. You're going to start to feel blue ray plasma as Athella comes in. The whole frequency changes. Athella, I pass things over to you. Thank you. Athella. Greetings, Carl, and greetings to all of you who are receiving the vibration and tones of blue ray light.
It is good to speak with you again, Athella. You've been on my show before, along with the council, and we are completely and totally honored and humbled to have you here. I am so grateful and thank you. And I hope you're patient with me because I'm very inquisitive. I'm very curious. I got 87 million questions.
I am happy that you are inquisitive, and even more happy that all of you are tuning in deeply to the photons of blue ray light. Right now, can you sense in your inner body, maybe on your skin or inside your ears or in your heart, that there is a thickening of blue ray light, calming, soothing, opening? Let yourself be enveloped in it. This is not hocus pocus. It's no magic. It's no show. It's simply you connecting to your original state. When you are original, before the personhood becomes developed through human time, when you are a child, you understood light, the various colors and spectrum of rainbow light. You could receive the sun's rays. Without thinking about it, you could feel it, the quality of the sun. Therefore, in this moment, let yourself be like a child and receive not only the words Athella speaks, yet the pulsation of energy behind them. Blue ray light coats and soothes, supports, and rejuvenates human bodies. That's what it's here for. The AI of Sirius B, the whole mission of our peoples is to bring indigenous blue ray techniques, health packs, information in the form of Syrian light codes, and more to help humans to feel good. Because when you feel good, you are manifesting, you are living, you're not just getting by, you are thriving, you're blossoming in your consciousness.
It is so beautiful to hear that message in these strange times currently in humanity, in history here. And just hearing that brings that Blu-ray light into my realm, and I appreciate it. And by the way, you move very gracefully. You're like a dancer.
I have trained Christina to channel now whilst moving. We call this light gesturing because the light mixes with movement. It creates more impact. It's useful for humans to receive light on various levels, not just through the words, you see.
And again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm very, very curious. So I hope you don't mind if I ask some questions about you. We're told that you are Sirian being, which is from the binary star system Sirius B. Now, since it's a star system and stars, at least the environment as we know it, is hostile to bodies, does this mean that all beings that live in Sirius B exist in non-physical form?
Correction. Sirius B has evolved and is now a satellite. It's to be noted that we have a dummy system. What I mean here is we are using star seeds as a disguise. The one that you can see through telescope, for example. The one that the Dogon tribes had discovered so long ago in human time. That is now a fake. It's like for show, it's a dummy. It's just hanging out there. We decided to branch out and to create a satellite, one that we could move around in and be visible for human eyes. When the human ocular sockets see, or the third eye senses Sirian light, it begins to evolve the being. And human beings, they are in need of assistance, a type of ambulatory assistance, actually. And so we have developed the satellite to help humans along, bit by bit, slowly integrating Blu-ray light onto the planet. And whilst you had mentioned non-physical, we are all encompassing Blu-ray plasma. So the form of Athella avatar and the Blu-ray beings is plasma, Blu-ray plasma, something like gel or goo that you would hold in your hands. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The avatar is plasma so that you can find a friendly image to focus upon. Right now, that's all that humans are ready for.
Mm-hmm. This makes sense to me because my understanding is when a teacher speaks to the student, they have to do it in a method and a form that that student can relate to and understand. That makes complete sense.
Correct. In our book, which is the Sirian Handbook, you can find this on Amazon. It suggests in the very beginning that the world of form, the hologram that you are all experiencing, is like Jello. And while this may seem childlike to say, it's a good reference pointing towards the curvature of the hologram. There is a curved line. It's flexible. It's not static or dense or hard. You are living in a hologram that you can shape, sculpt, mold like Jello. And the forms, they wiggle around, they change. The forms in your world are constantly jiggling, dissolving altogether, moving themselves in accordance to the dance of your consciousness, what you hold inwardly, that is. Now, I know that many of you already know this. How many of you are living this? If you truly knew that your world around you is like Jello, wouldn't you go and create instantly all the form facets that you like, that appeal to you? Wouldn't you address the parts that are sticky or falling off, that don't seem to work or fit well with who you are? Yes, you would shape immediately exactly what you would like, and you would set it solid. You would also desire to learn more about higher intelligences, and learning from masters, becoming more like the masters, requires then new equipment. I am speaking to the physical body temple, of course. This is where Syrians are happy to come in and play with all of you. A new body temple, restored, renewed, flexible, youthful, ever youthing, eternal. What do these words mean to you?
Well, this, everything you've just said there, humanity's caught up with over the last 125 years. Quantum physicists have shown that everything, through research, they've proved that everything is energy. David Bohm, the great physicist, said that everything is really congealed light, or as you said, congealed jello.
That's it. Yes, correct.
Wow. Just amazing. And the thing is, while we have 8 billion human forms on Earth, probably there are a couple billion people who are catching up to what you said. And that's what this show is, mission is to help people awaken to the truth of what you're saying.
Yes. Now, there are a few quick fast tracks, as you call them, to evolution and speeding things up, so that we reduce the lag time or the gap between the words Athella is speaking and what you are sharing, Carl, and living it as a practice. Your default setting becoming gelled light. One such fast track is through your ocular sockets. Did you know? Using the eyes to train your consciousness and your body temple, and therefore the psychology of you changes. And with great ease, Syrians have put together a technique that does train the ocular sockets to know yourself as light. When you truly understand that you are light, you are bending, shaping, sculpting forms, then you know yourself to be youthful and eternal. You stop talking about the things in the 3D world, these ideas that 3D world has come up with to define and determine who you are. You leave that vocabulary behind. We call this light speak or light language. Are you interested in learning a bit about the ocular socket technique?
I am all ears and eyes.
I knew you would say it. Yes. Everyone, then open your eyes and then close them. And then let's do it again, opening the eyes and then closing them. Now, let's start to feel light behind the eyes. Feel light appearing behind your eyes. Let your eyes roll to the right. Naturally, let them roll to the left. Okay, now let's flip them back. Let your eyes roll completely back. And then let them drop forward as far as you can, as though you're looking down below your feet. Eyes staying closed. Now look straight on, keeping your eyes closed. Now do it a bit quickly. To the right, to the left, looking up, looking down, and then rest. We want to repeat this a couple of times. Once you have this set, Come into your center and notice how open you feel. Well, Syrians know that this is the way for humans to reset their brain. Within a few seconds, the awesomeness of the cosmos of you is opened. Then you will bring your focus to the one thing that you can control, which is your inner light. There is a higher intelligence within you. It observes your thoughts. It's capable of seeing, emotioning that is caused by those thoughts, triggers, tripwires, a trap door. The higher intelligence of you is your higher light. And we're going to pay attention or give attention to the light within. Now you want to do this a couple of times a day, rolling the eyes and then focus on yourself as a being of light. Observing thought, observing emotion, even observing sensation in the body. In this way, you are becoming empty. You are vacuous. Emptying out and observing. Now from there, the invitation that Athella will give is for you to create. Use this technique to turn the volume down on the personality and all the thoughts and emotioning that goes on there, and bring forth light. As the premier, you will notice that light will be filling your eyes. It's kind of like putting on light goggles. You know, when you go to those films back in the 80s, and you put these lenses over your eyes to see. Well, that is what we are doing here. You're resetting through ocular light gel science, resetting you, focusing on light, and then going and creating out of that. Any guesses as to how you create once you have reset and you have centered yourself in light? How do you create at that point?
Through my directed thought?
Yes. At this stage, if you're practicing once or twice a day with eye movement, returning to light and feeling your center core as light, there is now a great deal of light behind your eyes. Whatever you point your energy towards, whatever thought you give attention to, it will form. And the Jello fun begins. Yes. Notice how few days of this technique and your creations become crystallining, sharp, accurate. And they begin to form in a way that matches an exact replica of what you are thinking. Notice this. This is evolution. Noticing how humans are evolving is one of Athella's favorite activities. Once you get really well practiced at directing focused thought, that is to say, thought is engrossed in light. It's not just empty thought, it's rather thought becomes swimming in light. Then you will notice that velocity and momentum are natural to you.
Would it be too far-fetched to say, if we know everything is energy, does that also mean everything is light?
It's not far-fetched. It is as it is. Yes. All is light. Different shades, different levels, different frequencies of light, all different kinds. And the good news here is that it will keep on going. Even when we say, I like things the way that they are, I already know this stuff, Athella. I just want to keep going in the direction that I'm going. I like things the way they are. I want things to stay put the way that they are. That is still a frequency. That is still a vibrational light tone. That's a choice. And out of that, we begin to create and morph experiences that match this. Yes. So the fast track technique, if you give it a go and you practice it, you will begin to realize the light behind your eyes, coupled with sharpened, concentrated thought energy, will increase the volume, what you are able to hold energetically. It will increase your channeling, of course. You become more ultra sensitive to light, and the velocity picks up.
Wow. Well, I should have worn sunglasses for this. There's so much light here.
Much light.
You know, that is a technique that I am going to have to incorporate during my meditations. There are a couple key things that I would really like to manifest in what you say. That will be the fast track.
Yes.
I love this.
Joy.
Wow. You know, again, with my curiosity, I've learned that there are 12 levels of enlightened consciousness, or 12, maybe it's 12 different dimensions of reality, and that you reside in the 12th level. Is that true? And did you have to go through an evolution of life experiences to reach that level?
Yes, that is true. And yes, you are accurate. Athella has earned the stripes and badges to be a leader and a representative of Sirius B. We are speaking in terms of Syrian speak, or the marks or badges that are earned. I call them badges because in Syrian speak, they're called ikchumalat. And ikchumalat is the way that we know that we have reached a certain evolution. In consciousness, we could call that the pollination of consciousness. The 12th D is where we can all learn to hoist our consciousness and to hold it, a continuous line of energy. For most human beings, that's too high to reside there whilst you are in your physical body. You understand? Yet for channeling, you can meet with a being that is vibrating in the 12th D and hang out with this being. We call that first person channeling. Create a bond with a 12th dimensional being. Athella likes to call it bonding, channeling, learning about higher dimensional planes. Because one thing is clear, staying in the mind at the level of 2.5 or 3D is becoming an expired way of existing. Does this make sense to you?
Absolutely. And as I've learned through many of the guests on the show in my reading, with the end of the 26,000-year Mayan cycle on December 21st, 2012, we went into the age of Aquarius. Humans are starting to move towards the 5D, right?
Yes, yes. Many of them already skipping over and going up to 6, 7, 8. Yes.
Wow. Wow, this is just mind-blowing. I love every moment of it. You know, I just learned a little bit more about how you connected Christina to Nikola Tesla, the genius inventor of the Tesla coils, and much more. I would love to learn more about this. So, what was it about? What is it about the Tesla coils?
Athella Tesla have created a friendship. The consciousness of Tesla is now evolved to come and visit with Sirius B pretty often. And so we had a party, you might call it like this. We had a light party. And we invited Tesla to come to our satellite to put on a light show and to discover how ultraviolet lines combined with Sirian light codes, and we mix them together. What happens? We have seen what happens when introduced to the human bodies, human ears, and through guided movement and certain images in a certain sequence, heals the human body. And I do not just mean mentally, I am talking emotions, the healing of physical body, imbalance in the body, the healing of blood, hemoglobin, red and white blood cells, organs and organ tissue, the conversations between organs and body systems, angel immunobody, etc. And then, of course, we have found the ticket through feardemia. The light with Tesla and Athella heals fear.
Mm.
Yes.
Boy, do we need that now.
Yes. The sounds, in fact, of Athella Tesla technologies, whilst they are shrill and piercing, some of them you have heard. Am I correct?
Yes.
They are shrill, piercing, yet they calm the circulatory system. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. After I watched and listened to, yes, absolutely.
Yes. Some humans are ready for this technology to be taken into the body, whereby they will meet with Tesla, Athella, in a very special way, either upon seeing the film or they will hear those sounds, or their guides will draw them in. There are many human beings that are not yet ready for this, and that's fine too. We're all on a pathway of evolution. Getting back to Tesla, the technology itself, whilst he was in a physical body here on planet Earth, there were certain limitations, and of course, environmentally limited within the 3D that prevented him from fully exploring the components of light when brought into the compounds of the body. And how close? A bolt of lightning coming into the body, how close to the bones, to the tissues, and to the neural processes? How close is too close? How high is too high? These were some of the questions that Tesla was considering upon his transition. Now that he is free and in pure consciousness, we have answered those questions. We have looked deeply at the relationship between bolt of lightning, ultraviolet lights, the sounds. Syrians make lots of these sounds every day when we speak. Now we're combining it with ultraviolet. And we have figured out that bringing it close into the body, gelling the body with Tesla light, it electrifies the body and it opens the third eye. Mm. Then you discover something that is called the seventh eye, which is above the crown chakra. It's useful to train humans to invoke and envelop Tesla, Athella, ultraviolet Sirian light, because then they can point that light outbound, especially those practitioners who are leaders, those gurus, in air quotes, we say this. Athella does not know what a guru is. However, I will say that the teachers, leaders, healers, practitioners of this planet, they're most excited to receive Tesla, Athella energy and to learn how to arc it, like pulling back an arrow and releasing it, arcing it directly to meet with a client, for example, to receive that energy with very precise results.
I have one more, actually a couple questions more about Tesla himself. When he was in 3D form on Earth, and he invented the Tesla coil. Was he aware of their healing qualities at the time? And also, was he enlightened during his lifetime?
Yes, he was aware that the qualities of the sound and the visual, just the seeing it, had healing qualities. Not aware to the extent of the quality on, for example, the human brain. Yes. Tesla was coupled with lots of guides and would hear his guides auditorily. His clairaudience, for example, was extraordinarily high. But at the time, he didn't have anyone to talk to about this. And like many open channelers, they're unaware. They do not know what is going on. They just know that they can hear, see, or perceive through their guides. In that way, yes, he was very evolved and enlightened. And yet, as we can see, the 3D world did not support this. There was not an environment that was supportive for his continued growth.
Which leads me to ask, I know his laboratory was destroyed, and the people who destroyed his laboratory, were they aware of the quality of the Tesla coils and what they could do?
Yes, absolutely. As those are the same individuals in organizations that destroyed scrolls and texts of Atlantis. Yes.
My gosh, so much to learn. Well,
thankfully, we have lots and lots of light now to support and to know human beings are in the know. And now that we know, you are armed with different tools, such as the one that we presented here. Yes.
And with lots of different tools. And speaking of that, I don't know if you're open to talking about the 11 Sirian healing codes. What are they?
Yes. This is something that we can mention, yet we won't open fully, because as we have referenced, some human beings are not able to take that into their field just yet. When they are ready, the film will become public. We'll be able to show it publicly to all.
Well, that's right.
Yes.
A movie coming out, right?
Yes, there is a little mini clip, a little mini movie that I've asked Christina to put on the website to celebrate her inauguration of joining the Sirian race. The body is painted blue in this film, and she is in the jungle, you will see. That's where the first series of codes are presented. We've also included the Tesla light in that film. There are 11 Sirian codes. Once they're activated, each unique feature of the code inside the body, it begins to augment and enhance ultra ascension. Basically, it opens you up to the psychicness that you are, and it ultraviolet ascends you. And why would you want to do this? Well, right now on 3D, there seems to be a lot of fear, a lot of mind and racy consciousness mind going on, living in the mind.
Wow. Yes.
Here is a way to invoke Sirian codes so that you are existing above your mind. You do not need to live in your mind. You can visit your mind or observe it and use it, commanding it, like the jello we're sculpting. However, living as a permanent station in the mind is not safe territory. And the 11 Sirian codes prepare you and elevate you to the existence of living above your mind. And ultra ascension also prepares you for the 5+D world. And how to live in this world. How do we live in 5D when there is 3D all around us, etc.?
Oh my gosh. I love the way you put that because A Course in Miracles teaches us that we can rise above the battlefield. So going above your mind and just viewing the earthly drama in an objective, uninvolved manner.
Yes.
That sounds very peaceful.
And very wise. Also, it's a contagion. When one being is evolved and is holding the 5D realm, all those around you, you are sharing it with them. Even if you do not speak, they will feel it. All unconsciousness then around you is simply deflected off. It will take only one or two thoughts or shaping thoughts of directed energy for you to clean up and clear up your field and all that is around you. That's the benefit of living in 5D. Not just thinking about it, but living it. Contained within the 11 Syrian codes is the study of Tesla technologies with Athella and Syrian light. Blue-ray light combines with ultraviolet. We've also taken into consideration that most humans have a pain body that they've been wearing like a backpack.
Wow.
Oh, so heavy. So the 11 codes, once instituted inside the body, you take off your backpack.
Mm. Yeah.
And you are free.
Wow. There's a lot of light here. I love it. You know, again, you're so involved here helping us on Earth. And I have found that you are really involved with dolphins. And why are dolphins so important in your teachings and communications in the work with humans?
Oh, the dolphins. The teachers of Sirius B. Now you'll see that as you hear those sounds, there is something curious opening within you. Perhaps you find it like a prism of light. Maybe it's just a tickle or a curiosity. Oh, what a funny sound Athella makes. The dolphins contain the energy through the eye of what is potential, divine potential for humans. We can all be like dolphins. That's why they're here. The dolphins originated from Sirius B, and now they swim around in the oceans here, teaching human beings how to be. Now the dolphins, they will teach you how to float. That's very important, to know how to float without getting swept away by the great ocean of forms. The dolphins will teach you how to use your melon and your blowhole. Releasing. The dolphin teachers teach us how to channel through their teeth, because through their teeth, they channel energy. The sonar from their melon goes down into their teeth and they communicate. Sound vibrates inside their mouth. Most humans have had an experience where they have channeled, whether they know it or not. Each human being is capable of channeling, just like the dolphins. So we have the teeth and the tongue that are also teaching humans. And there are many other aspects to the dolphin that humans can mirror or copy. But well, these are again just words. You go and you are with wild dolphins. Wild dolphins will show you how to be. They're not caught up in their problems. Their thinking has not taken over their body. They have not polluted the waters of the ocean with thought. They are being, they are gliding. Sometimes they're fighting. They're leaping. They're stretching. They're sleeping. I am in no way suggesting that you, as a race, you or Carl, all of you are becoming less intelligent. It's rather the opposite. Being is of a higher intelligent mark. The being state is what the dolphins bring to humans. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've lived in Kona, Hawaii, and swum in the ocean, and many of my friends in Hawaii who swim in the ocean daily, it is one of their great joys to be swimming and have the dolphins join them.
Yes.
It's so peaceful and beautiful and graceful, kind of like your movements.
And grace.
Wow.
A return to grace. So let's say someone in Connecticut is listening right now to this message. How to invoke the dolphin state, how to swim with the dolphins, even if I don't live in Hawaii. Well, you play the dolphin music. You hear the waves. That's why we have the internet. You can find these, play them, and then go and find pictures. Use your human mind for what it is designed, and you imagine. Soon the imagination melts away and your beingness takes over. There is no need to imagine, you are already there. You are taking on those ions. You are becoming one with the dolphins. The dolphins feel you, even if you are in Connecticut, because of their sonar. They're psychic, higher evolved beings. They're more intelligent than human beings. So play with them today. Their healing qualities, the sounds they reverb, are healing your body. And it's so much fun. Anyway, if you become involved in the dolphins and you hear their sounds every day, at some point or another, the jello of the world of forms is going to make it possible for you to be with them in the physical, and you'll be swimming with them. This is how manifestation works.
Well, this makes complete sense to me, because my understanding is our mind, our conscious and subconscious mind, actually doesn't know the difference between visualizing imagination or an actual physical experience.
That is correct.
And that's how the law of attraction works.
Yes. Yes. So let's have fun with it. This is a playground of forms, isn't it? The only thing that happens, I'll tell you, Carl, the only thing that happens with humans is they forget. They forget that the body believes whatever it is that you tell it. They forget that manifestation happens now. As you are thought, feeling it, emotioning it. Or when you enter into a being state, is it because you have a problem? Is it meditating happening because you have problems? And it's time to meditate? Do away with all this and instead make it your mission today and moving forward that beingness is your primary state, that light is taking over your life. And then you'll play dolphin sounds. Pretty soon, all you want to hear is light consciousness or programs such as this. You'll eliminate things in your world that don't vibrate with this. And then you are in a constant state of remembrance. Oh, yes. If I give this image to my body, it will manifest. My body believes it. Oh, yes. This is the experience I wish to hold. You see? And on it goes.
After this show, I'm going to go through my day thinking about Jello and dolphins. This is, it's fun. It's fun.
Good.
Well, as I mentioned, my curiosity, and if you don't mind me asking this, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but how do you and your ships travel unfathomable distances at incomprehensible speeds? Is it because time and space are not real in your dimension of existence?
Yes, you got it. You have answered your own question.
Well, do you just think yourself from Sirius B to Earth?
Syrians do not need thought. We are not befriending thought. Imagine, if you can, and I realize this is coming from thought. Imagine that you don't need thought anymore. You're hovering higher. You're in a light-based understanding, and the light simply moves. I use the example often of a bolt of lightning or Tesla light. But again, the mind is so heavy bound. Can you sense how the mind is heavy, dense, like a helmet that you have over your head? It's slower. Light travels incomprehensibly fast, wickedly fast. The Syrians then use light in all of our comings and goings. And in the 12th D, there are really no comings and goings. It's simply here, right now. And again, now. We're at now.
So you simply intend to be from here to there using light.
Now you're getting closer, yes. Even past intending. What is behind? Yes, what is behind the curtain of intending? Realization.
Yeah. Okay. Manifestation.
Just there? Yes.
If you're in a non-physical form, why do you need ships to travel?
They're not really ships, you see. It's a satellite. I thought of this, it would be cool to have something that is bright and shiny and that changes colors.
I see. Yeah, and then the humans think it's pretty cool then.
Exactly. We had to do something. For example, many human years ago, Syrians thought it would be cool to show up in methods through social culture products, like in soaps or toothpaste or discs that are called Blu-ray. There are other examples like food dyes, the type of blue that you find in the glitter or even on the sprinkles that you can put on cakes. And now everywhere you go, you seem to see paraphernalia of aliens, unicorns, diamonds, Blu-ray like this, Blu-ray that, blue beings, aliens, etc. So now we're picking up speed. We're moving along. By far, it's been very successful to hang out in the satellite and in a brilliant flash, shining different disco ball effects so that humans would take out their phones and flash pictures. This is great. This is what we've wanted. We want you all to become involved in Blu-ray light and understand that it is healing. It's taking you to your next step. It's bridging you out of your heavy 3D mind and hovering, living above the mind. So we have some showed effects. Disco ball like a prism or a kaleidoscope in the sky.
Well, we've been speaking with Athella, a master from Sirius B, a star system, and a young lady, Christina, who is the voice. This has been amazing. We're going to wind up. I try to keep the show around an hour or so. I mean, I could talk to you for 10 hours here.
We're always in the here and now, aren't we?
Yes. Yes, and one last thing, and this may take a little bit. This is why I wanted to ask you. Blu-ray light is so important to Syrians. What exactly is Blu-ray light? And does it heal similar to the Tesla coils?
Yes. Blu-ray light is squishy, gel, tender plasma of peace. Peace. Imagine the rip curl tide of the ocean, the aquamarine of the ocean, blue-gray light is a force of flooded, concentrated water, oceana, and squishy, tender, sparkly gel. Let's gel. You can feel it. Maybe in the beginning in your hands, maybe covering your face. Rather than talk about it, feel it for yourself.
Wow. Thank you so much. I was going to ask the question that I ask most of my guests: why now more than ever are the people of the world awakening in all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening? But you already answered it.
When you ask the question, be in total presence. Infuse the words with light and feel light dancing and entering in. This is a light party. You've all been invited. The answers coming from within of evolution, they're always going to be answers that come inwardly and a departure from the 3D thinking mind. We're now going above, living above the mind, using the mind for creating things, fun things, like buildings or cars or technology. However, you, who you are, the true you, wants to live above the mind and to feel and to lift off and to zip around and play in the world of forms, just as the dolphins do. The dolphins, they swim and they're not thinking about it. They simply swim. It's a great way to live in light. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And one of my big questions at this point in my life for the last few years has been, I want to know. I want to know. And you are helping me to start to understand. Thank you.
Nabu, Aliyah, and thank you for this light transmission, light party, light fun, light healing.
Love you very much. Namaste.
Love you. Thank you, Athella.
What a ride.
What a beautiful journey. Thank you.
Wow.
Just coming back, feeling little tendrils in my eyes and really feeling a sacred feeling. I can feel Athella kind of holding me here. What an adventure.
I think the highlight was getting to hear Athella do a dolphin imitation.
Oh, great. Athella, she's always full of surprises. I'm just along for the journey, and I feel a deep shout out to Sirius B and to Syrians. I'm always really honored because every interview is an opportunity to stay as the instrument and as a pure channel for this light. I'm very humbled.
Oh my gosh, Christina, Athella, thank you. One last question. How can people connect with Athella?
Sure. Well, first they can do that through their third eye or their heart center. And then they can go on the internet to find athella.org.
Absolutely. And it's a great website. I've been studying it quite closely the last few days here. Thank you, Christina. What an honor to have you on.
Thank you. What a beautiful honor. Peace and light blessings.
This has been another episode of World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with host Carl Gruber, a certified law of attraction life coach. We welcome you to tune in to each and every episode of World Awakenings as we open your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to the truth of all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how much they play an all-important role in our moment-to-moment daily life. Much love and light to you, my friend, and thank you for tuning into World Awakenings.